Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Selenium training. In today's session, we are going to talk about Maven pom.xml file, and we are going to create a sample project, and we are going to see how the structure looks and what is the need of a structure. So in previous session, we have dealt with the basic introduction on Maven, what is Maven, how it works, and all those concepts. If you haven't watched that video, just I'll paste the video's link in the description. You can watch from there and come back to this session. So meanwhile, I just thought of telling you one more thing before starting the session. You can go to this knowledge share session channel, and you can see here in the previous session we have talked about introduction to Maven and life cycle phases of a Maven. So it's in order, so please watch the videos in an order. So 30 31 is the video numbers, and if you haven't watched the previous videos of basics in Selenium, you can watch here. There are a lot of videos which are arranged in an order, and you can go to playlist here. If you want to learn phase model by module, you can click on these modules and just watch module by module. Each module contains 4 to 5 videos so that you can learn very easily. Now let's jump back to our session, today's session. So we are going to talk about what is pom.xml file and what it contains. So before going to in-depth details on what is pom.xml and what is the structure of Maven, let's go and create one Maven project. We have already seen a setup, how to create a Maven, how to configure Maven, how to create an environment variables in my previous videos. Now let's create one sample Maven project. So let me click here, file, new, project. So when this window comes, just search for a Maven here and just click on this Maven project and click on next. Okay, and it creates a simple use default work space and click next. Once you click next, it will appear all these things. One second. Just click on this create a simple project. Okay, skip archetype selection. Okay, so once you launch to this page, just give some sample. So give com dot maven sample project, and I'll give com dot sample, and this is my group ID and this is my artifact ID, and you can see the packaging. So I am selecting packaging as jar because we are working on a Java Selenium project, so I'll be using jar, and click on finish, and you'll be seeing the structure now how it creates, and we are going to talk about the importance of the structure and how it looks like. So it's, you can see here, creating project com.sample 75%. Just wait on, don't get panic if your project is not appearing here immediately. And now you can see com.sample is created, which is an artifact ID which we have given during the project creation. So expand it. Now you can see the structure of the Maven: src main Java, src main resources, src test Java, src test resources, and JRE system library, and one src folder, target folder, and pom.xml folder file. Okay, so let's click on this pom.xml and see what basic thing that it has by default when we create a project. So you can see here it has a model version, it has a group ID. So the group ID is the one which we have given during our project creation, and the artifact ID is the one which we have provided in the project creation, and it gives some snapshot version. So this is the default pom.xml structure that is created when we create a Maven project. Okay, so please keep in mind. So this might be one interview question: what is the default structure of pom.xml after creating a Maven project? You can say you will have a project tag. Inside a project tag, you will be having model version, group ID, artifact ID, and a version. Okay, and now Coming back to the structure, you can see here src main Java, src main resources, test Java, test resources, GRE system library. So you can see by default there are some jars created here. Okay, and src again you have main test. What are the folders you have here? They appearing here. Okay, and the target folder, for now you don't have anything in the target folder. Once you have your project, you will be having these jar packagings inside this jar. Okay, now let's see the importance of what each of these folder is meant for in this session, which is very important. And this is very important interview question that is frequently asked. What is the structure of Maven, and what is the significant importance of maintaining the structure in Maven? Okay, so let me go to this presentation back. So what is there in pom.xml? So a project object model is nothing but a POM. POM stands for project object model, or POM is the fundamental unit of a Maven. So you can say it's a heart of the Maven where it operates from. Okay, it's a simple XML file which contains some configurations related to project. Simply we have whatever we have to do with our project, all those information is present in the pom.xml file. So as we discussed earlier in the previous session, we have plugins, we have goals, we have phases, and all those things. We will be specifying all those things in the pom.xml file. Okay, once your project is executed, or when your goals is executed, it will try to fetch the pom configurations, and based on that it will execute your test or run your project. Okay, so the minimum requirement for the pom are the following: a project root, as we discussed. See, this is the structure of the default pom.xml when it is created. Okay, so this pom.xml contains dependencies, plugins, goals, profiles, properties, packagings, results path. You can specify where your results to store, and you can specify what to execute, and configurations, build, everything contains in pom.xml. So coming to the structure of the Maven, the directory structure, why we need to maintain a project structure? Okay, to organize files in a project. So in today's technologies, the applications are very big, and the files which we maintain are very big. So day by day the coding, or the files, the functionalities which developers and testers do keep on integrating, and it forms a big files, very big, a large number of files. Okay, if you do not know how to organize these files and folders in your project, it will be very difficult to run the project or understand the application, and also it takes much time to troubleshoot if any issues come. But if you have an organized structure of a Maven, when you're having your test automation, or for a development point of view, you have to organize your project in such a way that it will look nice, and all team members can collaborate and be on the same phase. And coming to the Maven structure, don't completely look in testers perspective. So this Maven is not only for testers, it's for developers also, right? Developers will have a different packagings, and testers will have a different packagings, and the output will be different for developers. They might have a application development, and we might have a testing development, test automation development, right? Now coming back to the complete picture of the structure, you have to learn this table very perfectly, because this is going to help you a lot whenever you attend interviews on Maven project structure or directory structure. Okay, first thing is src main Java. So this src main Java contains all Java files related to the development, or utilities, functions, or methods, and any libraries that is being created by developers. And these are all Java classes. Okay, this folder is included in the final packaging of jar or var whenever you have an output. Okay, whenever you run your Maven build, this folder is going to have a packaging. Okay, whenever you have jar, by default this folder is included. Okay, whereas coming to src main test, this folder is not included in the final packaging. Okay, because what this test contain, what is this main test folder contains? Basically it contains test cases. So again, the test cases is not only in terms of development but in terms of automation as well. So developers may maintain unit test cases in src main test, and testers may maintain automation test cases in this folder. Okay, so testers may use even developers also may use JUnit technologies frameworks for writing their unit test cases, and even we as an automation testers, we also can use JUnit or TestNG or Cucumber test or whatever it is. We can maintain all those test related activities in this folder. Okay. And coming to SRC main resources. So the resources is meant for, the meaning itself says resources are nothing but some supporting files which are required to run the project. Okay, they are not the business logic. They are some supporting configurations which are required to run a project. Okay, so these contains dot properties files, dot XML files, dot text files, dot exe files, and dot bat files. Okay, and this test resources contains dot properties, dot XML files, okay, and dot bat files which are created by testers. Okay, which are maintained for test activity. So whatever the test cases which you have written in SRC main test, if those need some configuration readings or some set of environment variable maintaining, or if you want to maintain testng.xml files, you have to keep all those files which are not coding related. I mean to say, which are not non-Java files can be maintained in this folder. Okay. One of the examples you can see testng.xml files, config.properties if you want to maintain any environments. And also we have a target folder. Whenever you run Maven commands like Maven test, Maven clean install or anything like that, you will have a jar file generated in this target folder. So when we run a Maven clean, whatever the files existing in this target folder will be cleaned up, and it will generate a fresh jar file inside this target folder. This is just used for packaging, and also sometimes some what we call these results also are stored into this target folder each and every time when a build is run. Okay, and we have already seen this pom.xml file. This pom.xml file contains properties, dependencies, builds, plugins, phases, goals, whatever it is, whatever we have to run the build for, and whatever we need to test, all these things are maintained in this pom.xml file. And coming to this Maven dependencies, all the dependencies that we put in the pom.xml file are theoretically downloaded into this Maven dependencies folder. So let me show you one example how it looks like. I have a sample project here, com.driver manager, and initially if you observe these both projects, this project which we created just now do not have this Maven dependencies. Okay, but the project which I created earlier and I already worked on some small test case, this contains Maven dependencies. So if I expand this Maven dependencies, I have all the dependencies downloaded into my project folder uh, from this pom.xml file. If you observe this pom.xml file, I have provided some dependencies inside this. One is Java Web API, Glassfish, some dependencies, Selenium, Java, GitHub WebDriver Manager, okay, and Maven Var plugin, all these things, right? So whatever I have specified here in these dependencies, all those dependencies are downloaded into this Maven dependencies folder. Okay, and also one more thing you have to remember is, if you go to your C drive and users and your user account, and you can see .m2 folder here. Okay, whenever you create your Maven project and configure everything with the environment variables and all installation of Maven, you will be seeing a .m2 folder here where you will be having a repository. So this is a local repository where all your dependencies and required libraries are downloaded here. So generally when we run this Maven build, all these dependencies are present in a central Maven repository, which we have already discussed in the previous session. There is a Maven central repository which already has all these. Uh, I'll show you that Maven repository. Just click Maven repository in Google and see, you can see this Maven repository. Okay, if I go on try to type Selenium Java here, I'll be getting the dependencies here. So if I click here, so this also has some, okay, let me go to 1.4.1 version. You can see here it has a group ID, it has an artifact ID, it has a version ID, right? Same as what we have done in Maven project creation. These people also has created a Maven project, and they have placed their code, functions, everything in their Java src main Java folder. That's the reason we are able to access this using this group ID, artifact ID. So whenever we copy this dependency into our pom.xml file, and whenever we run this pom.xml file, automatically it copies those jar files from this Maven repository, central repository, to our Maven dependencies folder. That's how it works. Then when we run, then it checks for what are the tests that needs to be run in the pom.xml file in some other uh, tags, build or Maven SuiteFire plugin, those things, and then we it will search for the test cases which needs to be run, and then it will run the test cases. We will go in depth later. This is just a basic understanding that I am trying to give you on pom.xml. So the structure of pom.xml we will discuss in detail in the next session, where we will be giving some dependencies. We will be seeing different plugins used. Okay, different test cases, how we can design, how to run particular test case through pom.xml. All those things we will be seeing in the sample project which we created right now. You can see here we will be taking this project pom.sample as an example for our upcoming sessions, and this pom.xml has only default tags, and we will be going to add some dependencies here in the next session, some Selenium and driver manager things, and then we will see how it is functioning and how it is running. Okay, so the key takeaway that you need to um do in this session is you have to learn this um directory structure. If possible, take a screenshot or take a snap in your phone and just look at this whenever you go to interviews, and then you can easily able to explain them what is the significant importance of each and every folder in the Maven and why we need to maintain the structure. Okay, so that's all for now, and we will come up with an upcoming sessions with the nice topics on. So as I already told you in the beginning, we will be seeing in the next session adding dependencies in pom.xml and executing test case in any browser without driver.exe file. We are going to see that in the next session. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. I'm getting very good response from different people. Okay, so please keep sharing this and please subscribe to this channel, and happy learning. If you have any suggestions or feedback, just leave a comment in the description. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.